We up and running. Good morning, right on time, nay. Good morning, everybody. A bit late with the sharpening. Usually I get this finished before we start. I sharpen during my countdown period. T minus 10. T minus 5. Late this morning though. We're okay. It's just a touch up. It wasn't broken or anything, just touching up. I think I'm okay, not quite sure. All right, let's get this show on the road. How far can we get in there? I'm going to carve on his shoulder now. Should be okay. So who's here? The usual crowd, the usual suspects. Good morning, gang. Okay, same old boring stuff again this morning. I did a bunch last night actually, way after streaming time. Finished the guy's legs. Get his shoulder done now today. Where to start here? Oh, nice knife. mentioned yesterday, this wood that we're using is on a really, it's softer than we would normally use for a key block. It's almost like color block material. It's just too soft, too soggy. We're having trouble getting wood, and almost all the stuff, Aoyama-san and I, my friend, almost all the stuff we were able to buy last year was on the soft side. So we're almost getting into desperation mode now. Both today and tomorrow, Aoyama-san's going to be down in the lumber markets, just hunting around, networking, trying to find stuff. It's not easier to carve, it's more difficult to carve. Even if I was carving a color block, it's okay, but to carve lines on stuff that's too soft is not good. And it's probably going to limit at the end of the day, end of the year, whatever, how many copies we can pull from this. But at the moment we're soldiering on with what we've got. There we are, I see there, the first official question of the day. What's it going to be like today? A quiet stream or tons of questions, or who knows? Let's have a look just a minute. Where are we? Twitch questions. Yes, there's one in there. Just a moment. It's a double. You're asking two at once. I can answer one. I'm not sure I can answer the second one because I don't remember it. He's asking about the lamination stuff. We're using the thin gampi paper. He's asking, is it okay to use minogami? I don't know. Minogami is a generic word meaning a type of paper. You can get thin ones, you can get thick ones. Some of them might be easy to pull off from the back, some might not be. So I'm not sure. The easiest answer is just to try it. We're using gampi here because of its thinness, of course. And that moves on to the second part of your question. In the book that I did years ago, your first print, probably I wasn't using the gampi lamination, I think. I was using a thicker, more generic kind of Japanese paper called hodomura, rather than doing the spray lamination with a thin gampi and a regular copy paper. I was just using a Japanese paper all by itself called hodomura for the kyogozuri, the color transfer sheets. That was actually the standard practice. And the reason I quit doing that was because the supplier, the person who had been supplying it with us, gave up and we weren't able to get any. So whatever, probably just that day when I ended up with nothing on my desk, I started using the gampi and copy paper lamination and haven't looked back. A couple of rules about this. What you're looking for when you're doing the color transfer sheets, you're looking for stability, just absolutely stability. If they swell or shrink during the process of doing the color transfer, obviously the new blocks aren't going to match the key block. So try whatever you can, try whatever paper you've got. But the number one key must be use some kind of paper or some kind of system that minimizes the chance of expansion and contraction. Do the whole thing quickly. Don't wait a couple of days between pulling them off and gluing them back down. Yeah, I should maybe emphasize some of these things more, that the way we're doing it is it's just one way among many different ways. And sometimes people see these videos or the demonstrations and think, I don't have that exact same stuff, so I can't do this. And that's not the case. There's many ways to kill these cats, Yeah, I hadn't remembered or realized that that book I produced has a different method than the one we're using now here on these streams. So try stuff, just try stuff, But over and over, stability is what you want on those transfer sheets. That book is getting dated, of course, now. The idea was to do that one first, your first print book, very, very light overview of how it's done. And then right away I was going to follow it with two more, just one about carving and one about printing, basically in a sort of encyclopedia format rather than a tutorial format. Entry A, entry B, entry C, alphabetical order, whatever, just talking about, everything I knew, but it just hasn't been possible. It's a huge project, the photography and the drawings are the part that kills it, I could write and chat and have somebody sit here and write down what I talk about, so we do the text of such a book easily. But the illustrations and photographs for such a book are extremely difficult. And that's what's sort of holding it back. minutes by and another question. Hang on a sec. Let me just finish this corner. Where are we? Oh, a bunch of questions. Okay. Follow up on the previous one. That Minogami you're looking at there, somebody has sent me a link to a web page with some paper on it. That's too thin to use by itself as a transfer sheet. You could use that for drawing your picture and pasting it down, because at that moment it doesn't matter if it distorts. But for transfers, that's too thin by itself. But you could do your spray. If you did a spray and laminated it to something else, you're okay, I think. Second question wasn't a question. Sounds good though. I'd like to see more about what you're doing there. Sorry for the... I have mixed feelings about this. So somebody has just mentioned in the post that they're doing something and it's coming out well. And then probably, 2 weeks ago or something, I said, sure, great, send it to me, send stuff to me. And meanwhile, in my inbox right now, there's a bunch of pictures. Somebody here has sent something to me and I haven't even looked at it yet. So I'm being a bit, what's the word? I'm being a bit hypocritical, asking people to show me their stuff and then not even bothering to open the emails when they get here. I'm sorry. It's been kind of difficult the last couple of weeks. So both things are true. I would like to see what people are doing, and I sometimes don't have the time for it. So I better just keep quiet about that part, I guess, right now. So should be better for us now. We're in late November now, and the tourist season here is obviously going to start to quiet down now. We haven't seen any evidence of that yet, but as November goes by and it gets colder, the number of visitors to the shop here is clearly going to drop off. And all of us here are, what am I going to say? I'm looking forward to that. That's not true. I mean, you know what I mean. We enjoy having people here. But it's been a stunning, staggering, exhausting autumn. And all of us are ready for a bit more of a relaxed pace for the next couple of months, you know. Because at the rate things are going with our business here in Asakusa, next spring is going to be, incredible. We're going to need more staff, and we're going to start to train over the next few months. More staff for next spring. It's been an incredible experience the last few weeks. I'm quite a way behind on a lot of the work. You know, this thing I'm carving right now, the web page should have been opened, the video should have been made. I should have had a copy of the finished print in my hand to show people. That should all be ready by now, by mid-November. Because if I don't get the information for next year's subscription series on the web pretty soon, we won't have enough subscribers come January. So I've got to get this done. It's partly my own fault. Me and Jed procrastinated for quite a while about what to do and what style to do and stuff like that. And put that on top of the general chaos here, and I just let it go and let it go later and later. I'll trim that straight, I think. Like that. And now here we are. It's the middle of November and we're still on the key block, so whatever. Sitting here carving quietly, just my mind actually was running away. There was something else for a minute. I think totally peacefully quiet. Probably in this chat, there's stuff going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and I have no idea. I don't see it, so it seems to be completely peaceful, and yet you guys have a different viewpoint because you've got all that conversation going on. But oh, there we go. I put an end to that question. I should have kept quiet. Where am I? What is the chat going on here? Something I should be paying attention to? Ice ski sharpening. No, I haven't done that, Whatever. If you remind me when we get towards the end of the stream here today, I could do that. I could sharpen one or two of the ice skis here. They could do with it. Other than that, it looks like William is answering most of the technical questions. Thank you, William, for getting in there and doing that. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Is there any downside to sizing the paper before cutting it to the correct dimensions? Yeah, you've got to do that. When you say correct dimensions, you mean for the finished print you're going to make. Sizing the stuff changes the dimensions. When you dump the size into it, it swells up. When it dries, it shrinks down a bit. It's not the same size when you're done with it, the same dimensions when you're done with it. The problem about, the classical sizing method here is the larger sheets come from the paper maker. They're sized in a larger dimension. Then from that you cut the dimensions. I can't keep saying size. You cut the size that you want. You cut the dimensions that you want from that. If you cut your dimensions for printing first and then try and size it, well, there's two problems with that. One is that the dimensions will change, and second is that we can't really size right to the edge of a trimmed piece of paper. It gets messed up and wrinkled, and you've got to clip it and hang it up. So we really want to do the sizing on larger sheets so that the edges can get messed up and stuff without worrying about it. And then from those larger sheets, you trim what you want. I know, remember, classically here, the paper from the paper maker always has selvage, the mimi, the feathered sort of edges. And when we're sizing, we hang it up by those edges, which usually don't get used. But having said that, sizing larger pieces of paper is very, very, very difficult, depending on the dimensions. And we ourselves here, we've built our sizing machine, which we showed on a video a while back, and it's not big enough to take the large sheets as we get them from the maker. And that's one of our goals for the future. We've got sizing machine Mark II now. Mark III or Mark IV, whatever we get to, is going to have the capability to take the sheets full size as we get them from the maker, put the sizing on in that shape, and the sheets then go into storage. And from them we just cut specifically what we need for each given print, a portraits print or a heroes print or whatever. So yeah, sizing full sheets is the goal. It's a very, very difficult job. Brushing them, holding them, hanging them. So sort of what we're doing these days is we do an intermediate step. We take the large sheets and we plan out, let's see, I can have 2 ukiyo-e heroes and 3 postcard size prints if I cut that particular dimension off it. We do the sizing on that size. Then once it's dried, we cut out the paper for our 2 ukiyo-e heroes and 3 postcards and whatever. So we do it on an intermediate basis. Sizing 1 by 1 for actual prints is totally impractical. It's too small and you can't hang them up. But sizing full sheets for us is beyond our capabilities. Bit of a rough corner there. Oh, here we are. That's relax. That's not the end of the stream. That'll be Cameron coming. What time is it? Something 8. I can't see. 8:30 or something. We're an hour away from the staff getting here, I think. They come about 9:20. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Have a good weekend? Peaceful weekend?
Yeah.
Must be.
Not sick.
Must be nice.
Yeah, how was the weekend here?
Chaos. No. It's all controlled. Not chaos in the sense of chaos, but
Lots of customers.
busy. Insane.
Really?
Print parties for 8 and stuff like that.
Oh, goodness.
People booked a family pack and showed up with 8 people, and we sort of have a different definition of what a family pack was than that family.
Oh, so, no. What did you do?
We did it. We had no choice.
Wow. 8 people.
8 people. It was fun. Actually, it was fun. They were really, really good people.
That's good.
We sort of stood there in the room, 8 of them, and me and Kawai-san and Matsumura-san, and 11 people in that little room. Okay, Matsumura-san, get out, go away. Me and Kawai-san. And then I give an option. Look, you can see what we're at to here. We can do it chaotically, or we can split in half. 4 of you go sightseeing and you do this. And they didn't want to do that. They want to do it all together. So, all right, let's do it. And it was really, really good fun.
That's good. But wow, 11 people in that little room.
Well, 8 people plus me and Kawai-san did it.
Right.
So.
Wow.
And they all did well. It's funny. Well, a couple of little 7-year-old girls. So fine, put her together with her mother, which reduces the count by 1.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Working on this black.
Yeah, this is late. I mean, this should have been on the internet by now, though. The web page announcing the series, the video showing the finished print. That was all last year. This was all done by this time,
Oh, wow.
This year, so it's a combination of things. It was doing a Kickstarter campaign. It's the autumn has been just crazy. And then, other stuff that got in the way of the schedule. And so we are way, way, way late with getting this announced,
Well, lots of people already know about it. They're watching you.
Yeah. I got the prep, whatever, can I say, this is stuff that you asked me to do. It's all done. I did my homework.
Okay, thanks.
So we can blow that stuff out today.
Okay, perfect.
I've got, I haven't done the Ome thing yet. So
there are orders this morning.
Yeah, there are a bunch. There's a bunch. It's Monday. There's a bunch for Ome. So as soon as I'm off here, let's look through that together and send to Ome.
Okay.
Then I've got a bunch of work to do on Photoshop over on the other computer, getting those separations ready for Chonsan.
Okay.
So you can grab this computer
and keep going through those.
Well, no, send out the letters. So
Yeah.
I've done the what can you say? I've removed those invoices and stuff. So you can, or actually, I didn't even look at your letters. So, but anyway, we can do that part of it this morning. So.
And there's even well, there will be more because I only made it.
Yeah. So up to a certain point. So.
Okay. Sounds great.
And then I've got no idea what's going on. You and Aoyama-san are going to work on that.
I think we're close to have a functional version. It may not be.
Okay.
Perfect.
What, the shopping cart stuff, the payment processing?
Yeah, I got PayPal to work for now. I'm going to try to clean it up.
Okay.
Make it a little smoother process.
What, is there a module for it, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So we didn't have to do that from scratch.
So we don't have to go to the APIs because they're all different from the ones that I'm using.
Yeah.
Okay.
But getting that all working.
Okay.
I just want to make it work more smoothly.
All right.
So that it's just a simple process for everyone who's not familiar with PayPal already.
Okay, but the problem there, though, on PayPal, usually, when we jump out to the PayPal site, they want us to make it, I don't know, what kind of word? Problem is, we don't have SSL on our server. Right. So from PayPal's point of view, they can't link to images or anything like this. So we get the generic PayPal site. Right. So I was thinking we should maybe look into getting that set up. The problem is, this is mokuhankan.jp. We get SSL on woodblock.com. It doesn't work for mokuhankan.jp. We have to get it for woodblock.com, mokuhankan.com, mokuhankan.jp. They're all. So whatever. Anyway, we have to at some point we have to bite the bullet and do that. So.
Yeah. That'd be good. See if there's anything going on this morning.
No idea. I've been sort of ignoring them except for the questions, so I don't know. I know William Francis is there, the guy in England who's working with Jed to make prints.
Yeah.
So obviously he's answering a whole bunch of the people are asking technical questions, and William's jumping into a. I don't see him right here, but a minute ago he was answering questions and stuff. So here he is, Francis on it. No worries, Dave. Good, whatever. So he's taking the technical.
Thanks.
Answers are good or bad, true or false, who knows? But
Does Dave ever take a vacation? Seems like such a hard worker. I don't understand how he's not tired. Are you not tired?
I'm tired, of course, but I'm having fun. Whatever, whatever. We talk about this a lot. Mm-hmm. What am I going to do for a vacation? Go and sit on the beach and worry about this place? It's okay. This stage of my life, my job is just to be here in this room and to do this stuff and to help build this thing. I don't know. When I had kids, I very carefully spent lots and lots of time with my kids. I was a good daddy. I did the right thing. Didn't so much take care of the women I lived with, but I did take care of the kids I lived with. But now there are no kids. This is the place. This is the thing. You could sort of be sarcastic and say, this is my family, and every day for me is family time.
Yeah.
A little bit, you could say that.
Well, I'll go get cracking. Try not to use too much of the internet and lose your stream. But
yeah, I still haven't figured out why this is going wrong. We wake up that computer, it goes wrong, and it shouldn't make any difference. We have a ton of bandwidth. I don't know what's going on. So.
Okay.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
Catch you later.
Yep, thank you.
We're asking about a vacation, and I think we are planning. Last February, I got an emergency call from Canada. My dad was in big trouble. I jumped on a plane, headed over there, and he actually passed away. He was 89. It was his time of life, But I was over in Canada for 10 days or so, on an unexpected emergency. And the staff back here did very, very well. Customers come in and, where's Dave? And he's not here. Whatever, his dad's dying, there's nobody complains, we all accept that, But the point being, I was able to get out of here for 10 days, even though I thought, I can't leave, there's too much going on, I got to take care of it myself, But of course, I'm not that indispensable. So probably this year too, in February, when it really is a quieter season, there's very, very few people walking in the streets outside of Asakusa in the middle of February. So I'll be going over to Canada, I guess, again this February, see my kids, my grandchildren. So yeah, I do that sometimes, that sort of thing. Like we said, it's just too much fun being here every day, Sometimes it's exhausting, but it's a whole lot more fun than sitting on a beach would be, the thing that Cameron and I were talking about when he was here, the sort of bookkeeping job that we've been doing the past, we're doing on Friday before the weekend, and we're getting in trouble with spam. I don't mean spam coming in here. We can handle that easily. We've got filters. Our outgoing mails, of course, everybody has trouble with spam, everybody in the world. And when somebody orders, for example, our subscription prints, they haven't had any email contact with us. They go to our website, a form on our website, ask for the subscription prints. They put in their name and address and email and stuff, whatever. And we get it ready for them, get it set up, the thing that they've asked for. Here's the first print in the series. And if you'd like to really start subscribing, here's how to do it. Pay for the first print and away we go. And we reply to them, of course, by email. That's the only way we can do that. They've come to our web form, put their information in, and we reply by email. And I don't know what percent, it's a third or something, they never reply to our email. So we've learned, how to handle this. We write again, and we try and write again, and we've got a little, what's the word? We can tell when they've accessed the website. When we do send the email back to them saying, hey, thanks for subscribing, and here's where to pay the first invoice so we can send you the first print. A third of them or so never access that page, which tells us probably that they haven't got our email telling them where it is, because we send a link in the page, a URL. And because our email to them, it's our first contact with them. So from their email program's point of view, it looks like spam coming from this unknown place in Asia with a URL in it. It looks like spam. So people don't get our first contact. We try again, we send it through a router somewhere else so it doesn't come from Asia, it comes from America, and still no contact. Now some of those people, perhaps, actually, they realized after clicking the button they really don't want this at all. So that's fine, no problem. But many, many people will get an email like 6 weeks later, I wrote to you guys and didn't hear back from you, what's going on? And we had heard, we've written again and again and again. So for us, spam, in the sense that people have spam filters, it's a huge, huge problem. And honestly, I would gladly pay postage. If there were a system where, there was postage we paid for email, 10 cents an email or something, I would gladly pay this in order, to get past spam filters. If there was some kind of email post office structure available in the net, there were verified senders. We got a license to send email or something that would guarantee that our stuff wasn't spam, I would happily pay for email. But, obviously putting in place a paid email system on the internet at this point is not going to happen. But death to spammers, Huntony, death to spammers. We're almost at the point now of thinking that on the order form we should ask people to put in your phone number. And we'll physically freaking call these people and say, hey, we sent you an email a few minutes ago, open it and have a look and let's get going. Is that the only way around the spam, to physically phone people? I got no idea how we can really get around this, Check what? Chat. Long chat. YouTube. YouTube is our single biggest driver of people coming to our business. Period. Nothing else to say. YouTube is giant for us. Spam. So, SPF records, we've tried to do what we can do. we're thinking of just giving up and sending it out to like MailChimp or something or whatever, but I don't know. Excuse me, sorry. Detail here, be careful, Dave. Daijoubuかな? Alright, I think this section's done. Nice peaceful hour's work. Enjoying these lines, you know. Jed's, there's a bit of a freer style. We talked about this the last couple of days, you know. There's a freer style in the drawing, and I'm doing a freer, you know, a more literal approach to his carving rather than quote fixing, unquote fixing some of the lines, you know. Oh, there's a question. Yeah, this is the first, that's this morning. Jed's given a sort of a, what is it, a sort of a conquistador type of a look to this guy. Where am I? Okay, looking good. Alright, now with his clothing all done, I'm going to switch over to the other guy. Start with his legs. Move over to the next guy. But I heard the question, so let's see. Oh, the chat. Look at this. Spam answers. Good. Thank you very much. I'll have a look later. Very much. Thank you very much for any information and whatever. Yeah, it's not going to be the far PG side, I'm afraid. Information about email. Okay, I'll have a look at that later. Thank you very much. We're out of time, 9 o'clock. Still, okay, we got some time. Let's keep going. Keep going. Today, it's Monday in the shop. There's going to be 3 parties, so I'll be doing those together with Kawai-san. He'll maybe do one of them by himself. I'll do the one that has the larger number of people. So I'll be semi-busy with parties in the shop. Be doing bookkeeping stuff with Cameron-san. He's working on the new Japanese website. As you heard, we're talking about the SSL for the site. We've got to figure that out, what to do. And then preparation for tomorrow. And tomorrow we've got an interesting trip coming up. Tomorrow the shop is closed. And myself and Doi-san, the older worker here, the guy just a bit older than me, used to work for the Kirin Beer Company. He collected woodblock prints as a personal hobby, got to know me, and he's now working for us. In his Kirin retirement, he's working for us, helping the shop a couple of days and a lot of background stuff with research and things like that. And a while ago on Yahoo Auctions, I may have talked about this or not, I'm not sure. The Yahoo Auction came up with an interesting woodblock. It was an older woodblock, but not old as in Edo era old. It wasn't physically old. It looked about maybe, 50, 60 years old or something. So it wasn't browned and toned. It wasn't Edo Meiji. But it was clearly an older block, not something. Anyway, whatever. He had 3 or 4 of them, and some of them were way, way too expensive. One seemed to be a reasonable price, so I bid on it and bought it. And when it came here, we looked at it and looked at some writing on the back, and we thought this looked like it was from the Takamizawa Company, which was one of the main reproduction companies in the middle 20th century. They started before the war. They struggled on after the war and then eventually went bankrupt and left the business. And this looked like it was one of the blocks from the Takamizawa Company. So we talked to the guy who's, sold it to us. When auctions are up, you don't know who the people are, you can't talk to them. But once you bought something, of course, you get the contact information. So we talked to him, and he says, yeah, he's got what word did he say? Ippai, lots. He has lots of Takamizawa blocks. And his plan was to put them on Yahoo Auctions at a fairly expensive price. So we asked him to hold off a little bit. Can we come and see what he's got? And let's have a chat, So he did, and we are. And that's what we're doing tomorrow. Doi-san and I on Tuesday, the shop's closing day. We're going out to this guy's warehouse where he has, according to his word, ippai, a lot of the old Takamizawa blocks. Well, this is going to be this guy thinks they are worth a whole lot of money. He priced this very vigorously, on Yahoo Auction. So there's no way we're going to be able to buy these from him, because he thinks they're worth a fortune, and way more than they probably actually are. And they are worth a fortune to us, but not really to anybody else. You know, he had a bunch of stuff on Yahoo Auctions that didn't sell day by day. It went round and round and round and round. It wasn't selling, you know, because he priced it too high. There's a lot of people who would like to buy these as sort of antiques or as curios or as interesting things. We would like to buy them as, you know, to make prints from them. So for us, they do have value, but there's no limit to how much we can afford to spend, especially if there's going to be dozens or hundreds of them. So we'll see tomorrow. We'll find out what he's got, sit down and whatever, have a cup of coffee and talk to the guy about what to do. And I'm not expecting that it's going to be a wonderful treasure hoard that's going to transform our business, because we're still in the same situation. We don't have enough printers. So suddenly getting access to a whole bunch more blocks, like the Doi Hunga blocks, we've got access to hundreds of those, but we can't use them right now because we don't have printers. So this is nothing that we're going to say, oh my God, let's go, let's go, let's go. But if they're there, we would certainly like to get them. We would like to preserve them. We would like to use them in the future. But it seems he's got a pretty high estimate of what they're worth, so it may all come to nothing, and he's going to put them on Yahoo Auctions, and we'll see. Anyway, we'll see. There's also a backstory, though, on the things. I don't know the dirty details of this, but when that company, Takamisawa, when they did go bankrupt, it was one of these companies where lots of different family members have a finger in the pie, and there's different property, and there was, you know, all these blocks. It was an absolute chaotic mess, and they had a bunch of debt. They'd gone bankrupt, so they had a bunch of debt, and some of the debt seems to have been to rather unpleasant people. So we had heard years and years and years ago that whatever happened to the Takamisawa blocks, they had fallen into the hands of the Yakuza, of course. You know, there's debt involved and seizures being made and stuff like this. So exactly who we are going to be talking to tomorrow, we don't know, and it's probably going to be a don't ask and don't tell situation. Now we won't be asking, you know, in too much detail, you know, where did you get these, and show me how many fingers you have and stuff like that. But you know. So that's sort of part of the problem. These blocks were probably seized / borrowed / stolen in, you know, in lieu of payment of debts and stuff. So. And now a couple of decades have gone by and they're surfacing, so anyway, we'll see. So this, you know, people are going to be, Dave put this on YouTube video or whatever. This is probably, if that's the story, this is probably something that's not going to happen, you know. We're not going to talk about where we actually went, and it won't be on YouTube, and we'll see. I really don't know. That's the sort of backstory that everybody knows about this, but what really happened, I don't know. Takamisawa, they were the best, you know, back in the, I don't even know when they started, late Meiji or Taisho or something, you know. They did some wonderful stuff. And bit by bit they overreached, they made a bunch of schlock. So just going by the name Takamisawa on the print doesn't give you enough information. It could be glorious, it could be a piece of crap. But my God, they did some good stuff, you know. I've got some prints of theirs in my personal collection, and just incredible, just incredible. my friend Asuka Sensei, the carver, he's the guy that goes overseas quite a lot to show wood carving at those overseas tattoo conventions and stuff. He was a Takamizawa carver in about this era that we're talking about, 70s. Well, no, these blocks are probably 60s, 50s, 60s. He would have been there in 70s and 80s. He's my age. He was there at the end, so he's got a bit more knowledge about the backstory than I do. And after I've seen his blocks, I'll be talking to him to see what he knows about it. There's one aspect of the Takamizawa prints that's a bit, they were making high quality ukiyo reproductions in the say 1930s and so. And so was Adachi company here in Tokyo. They were very, very much competitors. Adachi's still here. And they had a different philosophy on how to make their reproductions. Adachi still does. And their idea is they want to make ukiyo reproductions, classic prints, and they want them to look pretty much as though they would have looked to the original buyer. I say pretty much instead of exact. They're not using the same old pigments because the old pigments were just so weak. Modern people they're going to frame the prints, put them on a wall, and if they'd used the old pigments, the color would disappear, in days, literally. So Adachi doesn't do it that way. They don't do, organic pigments and stuff like that. But the point being, they wanted to make the prints look clean and clear, sharp and clean, like they were new. And Takamizawa's idea was they wanted to make the prints look a bit old and worn. So even when they were new, prints that they made and sold, they applied what they would call furubi, aging. So sometimes they would get a brush, dip it in whatever, persimmon juice or something, and brush it over the surface of the print to give it a sort of a golden tone to look a bit old. And there was some really sophisticated techniques that I have no idea what this is. This is really top secret stuff among those old people who knew it. Stories like they got spider webs from barns in the Toku region and used those to gather, they gathered the dust from these spider webs, and it gave a real wonderful aged tone other than just simple city dirt from Tokyo here, And there's just the stories go on and on and on and on about the different kinds of techniques they had. They would put a candle in a room and then hang the prints from the ceiling above the candle so it got just the right amount of soot, These were people who were also doing, forgeries, finding some old paper, cutting a reproduction of the old Great Wave, knocking the block so it looked like the same knocked around, beat up part of the old prints, then using this old soot and dust and spider webs. This was forgery, upfront forgery. But Takamizawa used a number of these same techniques, not as forgery. They were stamping their prints with the word Takamizawa, but to make them look old and aged. A patina, that's the word I was looking for. And that's really cool when you're buying a print in 1930 that had been given a patina to make it look aged, as opposed to Adachi, who was selling the same design side by side, looking clean and clear. So the customer in 1930 would look at the two and make a choice. Okay, no problem. But now we skip ahead 60, 70, 80 years. And the Adachi print has now developed its own natural aged patina. Looks really nice. Whereas the Takamizawa print has got the artificial aging, plus it really has got old. So some of those now are just gloomy and dusty and dirty beyond belief. Because they either weren't thinking of the future or they didn't care less, whatever. They were trying to just sell something right there that day in the market. So although my personal preference for, that's beautiful, was for the Takamizawa ones, in truth now, after all this time has gone by, you can see that it wasn't a good decision. They should have just been made naturally and left to age naturally. So we do this ourselves. We made a bit of an experiment a few years ago. We took one of my prints, a print of some sparrows, a little Zeshin print, and we put it in our catalog in 2 versions. The normal, what can I say, clean, just the normal version. And then we had a version where we had aged it with this patina. And I'm not going to tell you how I did it because it's all, top secret. But it looks awful now. And that's only about 10 years have passed, and it looks awful already. So, we weren't experts at applying these patinas. And so we don't do that anymore. We gave it up. That was a one-time experiment. And no more. No more. Because our prints are going to last. The paper we're using, it's going to last for hundreds of years. So just whatever. Let things happen at their own pace, their own time. I hear a question. We're coming to our time as well soon, I think. Anyway. Oh, chatting. Soka. Where are we? Question. What have we got? Oops. Question about sharpening. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good. This is perfect. I asked somebody to remind me. It's 9:15. We got 10 minutes. Let's do this. Thank you. My God, it worked exactly as planned. Okay, let's zoom out. Should I leave the light on, or if I took it off, is there enough natural room light here? Let me put this light on. That might put a buzz in the microphone. Anyway, okay, let's do this. Let me zoom in a bit better than that. Is that it? Let's do this thing. I don't need, we got 3 stones, né? The 400, which is the arato, rough stone. 1000, which is the nakato, middle stone. And then the shiagito, finishing stone. I've got no idea what number it is. It's just like a piece of marble. And I love my steel stones. Fabulous. Okay, let's take a couple of the ice ski. Six millimeter, 3 millimeter, and point. No idea what it is. Are we good to go? Let's do this. Water. I know. People are all going to write in, you don't need water on the steel stones. I know. You don't need mud. On a normal sharpening stone, Japanese water stone, you need mud. You put water on the stone, you use the nagura, which is a very, very soft stone which dissolves, and it leaves particles on the surface, which is mud. And on the fine stones, the shiagito, the mud is what does the sharpening. And people have told me, you don't need this. And I know you don't need it, but I like it. I like it. Okay, the ice ski, what we've got. Am I going to be able to focus here? I don't know if we can see anything here. Are you going to focus? It's focusing, is it? Find the focus point on the camera. I think you get the idea. It's not focused perfectly, but I think you get the idea. It's a rounded surface. It's a rounded bevel in 2 ways. It's rounded this way, and it's rounded very slightly this way, bullnose. So what I got to do here is I'm going to put, this is the bevel we're sharpening, and I am going to curve this way, down onto the corner, That gives me the sharpening of this shape, and as I do so, I'm going to rock it. So I'm going to rock. trying to do it slow. I can't do it slow. We're supposed to do it fast. I'm trying to do it slow so you can see what's going on. So here, down in one corner, come back bit by bit by bit, down on the other corner, and rocking. So we're rocking, we're getting our shape for the tip of the chisel, and we're getting our curve for the back of it. I should have changed my glasses here. Hang on a sec. That's kawaii-san. Don't worry, we'll just keep going. Let's just do this thing. I don't care what time it is. We've got it. If I get it back now, this looks a bit scratchy. Is it going to focus again? Oh, aoyama-san, hello. Trying to show sharpening. Aisuki no togekata. Dento wa kono katachi desho. So, what I've done, I've got myself too far down on that side, but not much down on this side. So I've got to hit a bit more on the left. Sorry, Ama-san. Hi. Now what that's done also, oh, look at that, nice curve. It's also now, it's put a burr on the back. The flat side now has a burr. So, flat side on the stone, finger on the back to keep it flat. Nice. And we're done. Flat there, curved here. Stone, middle stone. This has to go on the shiage. This has to go on the finishing stone in a few minutes. Do it again. With the middle one, 3mm. This is a bit more difficult because there's not so much. With the 6mm, I can feel where I am. There's enough base there to feel. But as they get thinner and thinner and thinner, you're just floating in the air. It's over in seconds. It's so, yeah. Finger on the back. Done. And the same thing, and this one's just barely a point, so it's over in literally seconds. Bingo. And now, same thing, rinse and repeat on the finishing stone. That's kawaii-san and ordoi-san. Are there questions in this thing, or is it just whatever? We can see confix. Is this live? Yes, this is live. Doesn't have to be steel, you know, of course. I love these steel stones. They're just working so beautifully, you know. I feel a bit like I feel a bit bad about this. I should be honoring the old traditions, you know. But my God, these steel stones are just so efficient and effective. Except for some reason I still want to keep my final finishing stone natural. I don't know. Not logical at all. You know. But those diamond sharpening stones are to die for. Left, right, left, right. I'm rocking. I am very happy with that. Very happy. Nice. So again, I'm tipping. I'm going to exaggerate. I'm tipping right over, not that far, but I'm tipping to the left, tipping to the right, tipping to the left, tipping to the right. Roll, tip to the right, tip to the left, tip to the right, tip to the left. Lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter pressure as we go always. That doesn't show when I'm doing the sharpening, you know. When you start any given block, you press firmly, right now, firm, 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 lighten up, lighten up, lighten up, lighten up, lighten up. Take away the scratches. Looking good. And the last one again, literally, it's all over in just a second. There's so little steel there. Good morning, guys. Doi-san, Kawai-san. Come say hello. Recovered after yesterday's chaos. Chaos. I know it wasn't chaos. I know that sounds like it was disorganized mess, but it wasn't chaos. But it was good. It was busy. Busy. Oops, zoom out. Okay, there we go. All right. Quick, dirty sharpening. Not much of a tutorial, but then you can just see what it was. This is Kawai-san. Behind him is Doi-san. Doi-san, I was chatting about these blocks. Tomorrow we're going to find some wood blocks. Who knows, you know? So who knows? Yakuza stronghold or something? I don't know. Who knows? We won't be asking such questions tomorrow. But so.
ニュービデオじゃないですか。あれなんか開け
どういけなかった。チョンさんがずいぶん遅くなったんですけど、いや本当に申し訳ないです。Okay, anyway, we're out of here. There's a busy day waiting for us here. What's the schedule? Today is Monday. Oh, I'm done then. This is the last stream this week. There'll be no stream tomorrow. It's Tuesdays because we've got tons of things going. I'll be back here Wednesday morning with more carving on the first print in next year's subscription series. Thanks very much. See you then. Where are we? Step 1. Camera off. Step 2, microphone. Step 3, cup of coffee. No, that's step 4. Step 3 is stop streaming. Thanks, guys. See you next time.